The Xbox is the newest kid on the block by about one console. So there are four Xbox consoles as of right now. I have all four of them. So this video is really just going to be me running through really the four Xbox consoles I have and what I think about them. So without further ado, let's check it out. Starting off, we got the big boy himself, the original Xbox. Whew, this boy's meaty, but isn't he awesome? This design, I think, is just really cool because they went all in on just making a DirectX box, like just something that is just huge, bulky. You can't really easily carry this. Well, you kind of can, but like it is just mad heavy for some reason. The consoles that came out around this time, both being the PS2 and the GameCube. GameCube obviously is a lot easier to carry with that handle, and the PlayStation 2, even at its fattest, even at its biggest, is still easy to carry or easier to carry than this. But I do still like how the original Xbox looks. I think the form factor itself is very nice. People may not be a fan of the more cheesier X design over here because I mean it's not like it's needed, but like it has character and I like it. I like how the central part of it is more so like a green uh, X, like hollowed out, not hollowed out, glassed over logo part of it, and it doesn't really take up too much of the console. But yeah, the Xbox itself is actually pretty dope. I like the four ports on here. Again, the PS2, even needing a multi tap for the PS1, the PS2 still didn't have built in four-player ports. It needed to get a multi tap for the four. It's very interesting that Xbox decided to go with these four ports. And even though being the new kid on the block, I still managed to outperform Nintendo, which I thought was really dope. So even though the Xbox absolutely floundered in Japan, but that does kind of make sense for me. Panzer Dragoon Orta, Fable, those are two games that I really like on this system. I have a couple things like Dark Summit, Halo. I mean, come on now, I got to have the classics. Yeah, so there's a couple things, some licensed games, maybe some Shark Tale, some Lord of the Rings. Gotta have a little bit of the spice of life in there. The Sims, but I like this era of Xbox really because it was when it was just starting out, so there kind of feels to be like a little bit more unique variety. Like I like that this is the fact that this is the Xbox generation, or this is the generation that Xbox started off with, because you got to see it have a library that feels more unique than the other consoles in its repertoire. Like the 360 library is still like kind of similar to the Xbox One library. The Xbox One library and the Series X library might as well be, twins. So, but um, yeah, it's not bad. I like it. Next, we've got the Xbox 360. Oh boy, man, this is the 360e. This was a 360 I really liked as a kid, but I, of course, was not able to get a 360 because I had a Wii U and a Wii. So there was really no point to my parents in getting something like this, which I was fine with because the only game I really wanted to play on here was like Gears of War and GTA, and I wasn't going to get those games anyway. But I liked the E more so because it was very sleek. I thought it looked like very like, all right, this is modern. It's the latest 360. Around that time, back in the day, game consoles used to be discounted later on in their life cycles. The prices didn't go up; they went down. So passive aggressive comment aside, that was something that really drew me to this because it felt like it was a 360 for the newcomers, like for the people who, hey, sorry for missing out on 7 years of greatness. Here you go. This is for you. Take this and experience the 360's library. And so when it came time for me to get an Xbox 360, I got one of these bad boys off Facebook Marketplace. I probably should have talked about how I got the original Xbox. So I got the original Xbox because I got it through Facebook Marketplace, but it paired up with my CRT TV, which if you've seen some of my short form content, you've seen it in the background sometimes. But it came with my CRT TV, and I was like, okay, score two. And it came with a Guitar Hero guitar, which I've given away since then. But yeah, this also came through Marketplace, and it was this dude. He was like around my age, and I was buying a 360 from him, so I thought that was very interesting. How how he was basically passing it along to somebody who really could have been a peer of his, just solely because I wanted to get on the 360 and I never had one. So the 360e was my favorite Xbox 360 rendition. But now it's probably the Slim. Now that I've seen it a lot, I used to have a 360 Slim, but I really couldn't justify having a 360 Slim and a 360e like in the same household when I really don't play the 360 that much. So I had to give one of them away. I chose the Slim because at the end of the day, I still am more of a fan of this 360 when it comes down to it. But if I had to choose between the two of them, like if I had a blank slate to make this less confusing, if I had a blank slate and it was between the 360e and the 360 Slim, I would choose the 360 Slim. But I already had the 360e, and it was the one I got first. I was like, let me give away the newest 360 I have, like the newest 360 I got before I give away anything else. So, but yeah, the 360e is cool. 360 games. I played Catherine on here. And that was pretty cool. Or I say played, but like I haven't finished it. But I played a little bit of Catherine on here. Of course, a little bit of Halo. Actually, I haven't played Halo on here yet. Sonic Racing All Stars I played on here. What else? What else? What else? What else? I played Bayonetta, but I did not play it on here. I played it on my Switch, but I do have Bayonetta for the 360. So a lot of my 360 collection is stuff that came out around this time that I remember seeing a lot of ads for. Some games I kind of already have. I'm double dipping a little bit, but I like the fact that I can play them on a 360. Dragon Ball Xenoverse being one of them. I don't know Dragon Ball Xenoverse on anything else, but I've played Dragon Ball Xenoverse before, and I got Dragon Ball Xenoverse on here, and I've played Dragon Ball Xenoverse on here. And Skyrim. I played Skyrim on here too, solely because I was like, I feel like it just makes sense to play Skyrim on a 360. So that's kind of why I did it. But yeah, the Xbox 360e, man. Uh, what a system. What a system. Wish I could say that about our next system, which is the Xbox One S. Xbox One S. The Xbox One S is the best rendition of the Xbox One, in my opinion. I don't know if the X has a drive, but I think that for this one being cost effective, for it basically having a good amount of storage on it, for it looking really amazing. Let me talk about that real quick. It just is, in my opinion, the ideal version of the Xbox One, and I prefer it over the X solely because I don't know. I feel like you kind of stand to have like more white consoles, but there's like sexual harassment versus like Riz, where the PS5 white is like I'm not really that big of a fan of it, but like this white is a little bit better on my end. What else could be said about the Xbox One? The Xbox One was rough. You don't need me to give a history lesson on the Xbox One. If you're probably here, then you probably already know a good deal about gaming. But the Xbox One had a very rough intro. And I think the fact that like it ended off in a pretty solid space, obviously not as well as the PlayStation 4, but the fact that like it played catch up the entire time, I think it ended up in a pretty good ending spot. But unfortunately, like Phil Spencer said, they lost the worst generation to lose. And it just really sucks for me because I like a lot of the things the Xbox One had going on later on. Some of the stuff like Game Pass, some of like the later games for the Xbox One, even some of the earlier games for the Xbox One were pretty cool. Like stuff like was it? Oh, Rise Son of Rome. I think I don't know. Forza Motorsport 5. Um, what else? What else? What else? Sunset Overdrive. There's a couple things on here. What have I played on here mostly? I basically use this as a Game Pass machine until I got my Series X, which I'm about to talk about. But yeah, that's really it for the Xbox One S, man. It's cool. I like it a lot in terms of uh, just its design. Its design is really the biggest thing that stands out to me. This probably no, it's still the Series X, but it's a very behind number two for best designed Xbox system to me. And finally, we have. Just give it a second. The Xbox Series X. Man, what a system. I know a lot of people were comparing it to a smart fridge in the same way people were comparing the PS5 to sell. First off, how dare you talk about my son like this? All right, he's a cute boy, and he deserves all the respect and love that this world has to offer. I like the Xbox Series X a lot. Actually, I'm gonna keep it a beat with you. Recently, I played this morning. I have my PS5, mostly because I bought 2K26 on this thing, and I love basketball. That's the only reason 2K ever gets this money out of me eventually. That's because I love basketball. And this is the last physical 2K, so that kind of worked out really well. But I have actually a solid amount of memories with this thing already. I played Expedition 33 on this, and I'm grateful I did. So I remember I have a TV in my room, and I bring it up here. I bring this thing up here anytime I have something I want to play because a lot of my HD consoles are in my basement, and then my more SD stuff is in my room. But I do have an HD TV in here, so I'm like, let me bring this in here. And while I was playing Expedition 33, I was grinding through it, and I was like, you know what? It feels nice to have this thing in here while I'm, while I'm doing my thing in E33. So I like the Series X in terms of its design as well. I know I made the little smart fridge comment thing going on, but Xbox did eventually make a fridge out of that. I thought that was cool. Didn't sell more of these, but it's fine. They got some internet brownie points, and that's all that matters. But I love the Xbox Series X because it's just a really cool looking system with a lot of good things going for it. Microsoft has absolutely fumbled a lot of the cool things about it due to you know mismanaging the entire brand. But I think some stuff like Quick Resume is awesome. I think the PS5 should definitely have something like that. I don't know why it doesn't, but I guess this is the more powerful system. That was also a draw of the system too. The fact that it was like the most powerful system on the market, and I didn't really, get what the point of that would be because people want to play video games, and last generation they introduced Marvel Spider-Man, and that's only on PlayStation. So I think a lot of people when the PS5 came out were like, cool. I know Spider-Man 2 is going to be on that, so I'm going to get that. But it's crazy how I'm talking a lot about PlayStation in the Xbox video, but they did it to themselves. Anyway, I like the Series X. It's cool. I don't know. You have anything else you want to say? And that'll be it. A little bit more of a shorter one on this end, mostly because I'm still trying to make memories with Xbox as much as I can. I have a video that I've been planning on working on, which has been, I spent like X amount of time with the Xbox brand playing Xbox games. What do I think as someone who has like played no Xbox before I started collecting? So hopefully I'll get a chance to make that, but that's definitely a whiles away. So, but without further ado, thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. Smash that subscribe button, bang on that like button, and I'll see y'all next time.